And so you believe that you're going to end abortion?
Yeah.
For years, men and women have come along to try to end abortion, and it has not ended. It's only gotten worse.
But they weren't me.
And what's different about you?
What's different about me is that I'm committed to this, that I'm ready to die for what is right.
Do you believe that if God wanted to end abortion, he would have done it already?
No, he wouldn't do it.
God would not do it?
He would not do it.
So if God would not do it, why are you trying to do it?
Because he gave us free will for a reason.
How old are you?
25.
Hello everybody, welcome to Cultural War. In this very interesting debate, Jesse interviews this very young preacher, I talked about abortion, and he confidently told Jesse how he was going to end abortion and why he wants to end abortion. Guys, you need to enjoy this video. It's very interesting. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. So without further ado, let's dive in.
So you're not a street preacher, right?
Correct.
All right. What made you? I saw a video where you were attacked. Well, one I saw where you were saying a sign about abortion stuff. When you're doing this abortion sign thing, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was the one where I got attacked. That's the one you're asking, or just in general?
Let's do the abortion one first. Not the one where that one lady attacked you, but the one where you were walking up and down the street. They were having an abortion rally, anti-abortion.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one was actually just recent.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that was the last video I uploaded. But they had a women's march. And so these women, like, I would agree with you where you say they're deceived by Satan.
Right.
So they were yelling out, no uterus, no choice. They were right at the big bridge of Portland. So it's pretty dangerous. So I just parked my car. We took the sign up and we confronted them. And they were talking about feminists or the example that we need to follow. We don't need a man. So I just confronted them head on. And they got a little bit angry. They wouldn't have a discussion. And they don't even realize, Jesse, here's the funny part. They're supporting Palestine, and they're supporting these things, the kids dying in Palestine.
Right.
And they have signs showing that. But they don't realize that the Planned Parenthood, the organization that they support, that it was founded by Margaret Sanger, the racist
Right.
eugenicist, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because they talk about BLM and Black Lives Matter, but abortions are the #1 killer of black babies.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to me.
And then I saw the other side where you were attacked by this woman. She was a child walking down the street somewhere, and you had this abortion sign, and she came up and threw stuff on you, and she was trying to attack you, but you held her down and threw her on the ground and stopped her.
The Rodney King beatdown. Yeah. As soon as the camera shut off, gave her a 1-2 Mayweather. It was crazy.
What were you thinking going through that when that was happening, actually happened? Were you surprised she attacked you like that?
Yeah, and the only reason she attacked me was because I was making her look stupid.
Yeah.
She was trying to debate me,
right.
Giving false information. And I get really upset when they're giving me false information, like they're deceiving, they're lying on purpose.
Right.
So when I corrected her, and I was very condescending with her as well, she didn't like that, so she threw the shake on me. And then you can see in the video, she tried to claw my face as well. She was grabbing she almost broke my fingers. She had them like twisted up with her whole hand. So then once I noticed that her strength kept increasing, I just grabbed her arm, I grabbed her by the neck, and I quickly brought her to the ground just to avoid any other issues with her daughter or
right. I
whoever.
heard you say that.
Because when I saw her daughter cry, or I heard her cry, it reminded me of the trauma that I went through as a kid when I would notice domestic violence around me.
Right.
So I felt like I was living through that again.
Right on.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you think you're going to end abortion? What's your purpose of doing all that?
No, I think I'll end abortion.
And why do you think you will end abortion?
Because many great things started with one man.
Oh.
So, how big of an impact did Martin Luther King have? Back in the day, they had Martin Luther King. They had Malcolm X. Now we have Jesse Lee Peterson.
But Martin Luther King was a big mistake. It probably, other than abortion, the Civil Rights Movement was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I agree.
What's wrong with the blacks?
Apart from the pigmentation, just the false ideologies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're deceived by. When we talk about blacks, apart from, I don't think people really care about the color of skin. I don't care about your color, you don't care about my color, but we care about the culture. And so what we see in the black culture is it's just deceived by Satan. That you don't need a man. When they introduced the welfare system, I think the marriage rates or black kids being born in a single household was like 30% in 1930, And then 1970s, it was over 70%.
Yeah.
And so now we see all these criminals. We see them, the rap music that they listen to, the movies that they watch.
And do you tell them this?
I mean, I would love to more often, but
Do you talk to blacks?
there's not really many blacks around me usually. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But if you were around them, will you be comfortable telling them that type of truth?
If it was the right setting, yeah.
If it's right said,
Like,
I
like,
understand, yeah.
I'm not gonna just
I know
find a
what
black
you mean.
person and just go, hey, you know,
Right.
you're black.
And so you believe that you're going to end abortion?
Yeah.
And why do you believe you're going to end it?
Because it starts with one man, and we just create dominoes, Jesse.
Right.
You know,
But for years, men and women have come along to try to end abortion, and it has not ended. It's only gotten worse.
but they weren't me.
And what's different about you?
What's different about me is that I'm committed to this, that I'm ready to die for what is right.
You ready to die to end abortion?
I'm ready to die fighting the Antichrist. Abortion is one subsector of that. There's more factors, but that's one of them.
So do you believe that if God wanted to end abortion, he would have done it already?
He could intervene, intercession, right? He could intervene.
Do you believe that if he wanted to end abortion, he would have done it already?
Yeah, in the same way that if he wanted rape to end, he would end that.
So do you believe that if God wanted to end abortion, he would have done it already?
Well, that would take our ability away to have free will.
Do you believe that if God wanted to end abortion, he would have done it already?
No, he wouldn't do it.
God would not do it?
He would not do it.
So if God would not do it, why are you trying to do it?
Because he gave us free will for a reason.
And God gave you free will?
Yeah.
And why do you believe that God gave you free will?
Because I chose to, for example, I chose to come here, and I'm going to choose to go somewhere after this. I'm choosing to fight for abortion. So I'm actively, there's determinism and there's free will. Free will is you get to decide. Determinism is like if you open a can of Coke and it fizzes, it's just reacting. It's just chemicals reacting. It doesn't have any say.
And so you believe you have a free will.
Yeah.
And so you believe as a result of having this free will, your free will is what's causing you to try to end abortion?
Yes.
Really? But how about the people that want to kill the children in the womb? Don't they have a free will? And can't they do what they want with their free will?
No, they can do what they want, but my free will is going to supersede their free will.
But why would you impose on their free will? Would you want someone to impose on yours?
Well, everyone does that because we all have presuppositions.
Would you want someone to impose on your free will?
No, but they do it anyways.
And why do you impose on others' free will if it's true that we have a free will?
Because once again, go therefore make disciples of all nations, right?
What?
In Matthew it says, go therefore make disciples of all nations, right? Teaching them what I have commanded you to do. So God commands us to uphold truth. God commands of us to defend the truth. And so we're all sinners. We all live in a fallen world. Because we have free will doesn't mean that what we're doing is right. It means that a lot of us are going to do what's wrong. But there's a few elect people that are true followers of Jesus that are going to try to fix them. They're going to try to correct them. So they do have free will, but what they do is a lot of times evil, because they're not under God's umbrella.
And so you believe you have the free will. Because of your free will, you can impose on their free will.
Absolutely.
Would you be okay if they tried to impose on your free will?
Yes, because they do that.
Let's say that you get married, you want to make babies, right? Do they have a right to tell you not to make a baby?
They have the right to say that.
And do they have a right to go and protest you and do everything they can to stop you from making a baby?
If they choose to, they will.
They have a right to do it?
Yeah.
They
Are
do.
they in the right to do that? No. But do they have a right to because of the country we live in? Yes.
And so are you in the right to impose on them
Yes.
if they want to kill the child?
Yes.
So would they be in the right to impose on you if you want to make a child?
They wouldn't be right, but they would be in the right.
They would be in the right to impose on you to try to stop you from making a baby?
Based off the nature of our country and the freedom that we have.
What does that mean based off the nature of a country?
Because we have these axiomatic beliefs, right, which is freedom of speech, freedom of bodily autonomy, which aren't real to begin with. But the fact that you can say what you want, do what you want, and you live in a free country, which all those things are a lie, by the way. But the fact that we have these things that we can typically have as a standard, which is we can speak out against abortion, we can speak out against gay marriage, we can speak out against these things. That's
How old are you?
25.
You're 25.
Yeah.
So if you have a free will right now,
Uh-huh.
will yourself to stop thinking.
I did.
You did what?
I willed myself to stop thinking
Well, you said that.
because I didn't think when you said that.
Will yourself to have perfect peace.
Okay. But we also live in a fallen world, right? Like Satan, like you're
Really?
tempted by Satan too.
If you have a free will yourself to have perfect peace.
But there's also the part of there has to be discipline. There has to be depending on God.
So if you have a free will yourself to have perfect peace.
But I need God for that.
But you have a perfect will. Why don't you use that?
Well, but that doesn't mean that all the actions I take will be perfect.
But why don't you will yourself to have perfect peace if you have a free will?
Because we're all sinners, Jesse.
Well, why don't you use your will to will yourself to have perfect peace? 'Cause I said we do not have a free will at all.
You don't think we have free will?
I know we don't. But
Did you have free will to say that?
Tell me, why don't you will yourself to have perfect peace?
Because we still deal with Satan's temptations, and we still need to have discipline.
And so Satan can override your free will?
He can tempt us, yes.
Can he override your free will?
I would say he can intervene.
Can he override your free will?
In terms of distractions, in terms of temptations, maybe.
Can he override your free will?
As in, like, can he supersede completely my ability to have free will?
Can Satan override your free will?
I would say, considering the fact that we're made in God's image, but we're also sinners living in a fallen world, yes.
So Satan can override your free will?
At times, yes.
Really? So what good is a free will if evil can override your free will? Satan can override it.
Yeah.
Why can't you will it so that he can't override your free will?
Because that would be perfection. So I think there has to be a delineation between free will and determinism. Once again, if I'm drinking, or if you look at grass and it's growing, it didn't decide to grow. It just grew. It just was. If we see a tornado or an earthquake, they're both just happening. If I ask you which one is more right, the earthquake or the tornado, what would you say?
I don't know. Neither one.
Neither one, right? Because they're
Right.
just effects. They're just effects of previous causes that they had no say in.
But because of time, tell me with your free will, why is it that Satan is able to override your free will?
Because we still live under the umbrella of God, meaning that we still surrender to Him. We still need Him. We still depend on Him. Meaning
But
that
why would you need to depend on him if you had a free will?
because I don't know. I would say at a fundamental level, I'd have to go really deep to understand why God created the world the way it is. Meaning, why does He allow evil to exist? Why does He allow Satan to even exist to begin with? So I don't know why God did decide that, but I know that that's essentially kind of the purpose of life.
Amazing.